The way you feel about anything at any time is down to two things: the pictures you make in your head and the words you say to yourself. And number one habit to stop you being successful is waiting for perfection. I spent all my adult life working with billionaires, people who are wildly successful, CEOs, Olympic athletes, rock stars, movie stars. And as I began to work with more and more of them, I saw that, oh, they do these things differently. And then I would teach all my clients to do what they did. Now, some of my clients were naturally good at this and others had to learn it. But it doesn't matter. It's like saying, I adopted a child, or I had a baby, I had no idea how to raise it, but then I just learned to love it. We learn new skills all the time. And if you adopt these 7 habits and make them your own, you can have whatever you want. So let's talk about the first one. The first habit that all successful people do is this: they do what they do not want to do to get to where they want to be. I've worked with many, many Olympic athletes who get up at 4 a.m., chip the ice off their car, train in the snow. They don't love it, but they love the idea of winning a gold medal. And others say, oh, I could never do that. I wouldn't do that. Many of my clients, when I share their success stories to audience, go, well, I wouldn't do that. I'm like, yeah, but you're missing the point. They did what they didn't want to do to get to where they want to be. You know, when I was a therapist, I wanted to be the best. And I decided every day to ring up a newspaper or a magazine and ask them if they'd like to write about what I was doing. I was very lucky. The first one went, oh, that sounds amazing. And it happened to be Men's Health. Not only did they write about me, I actually gave my own column in the magazine. But many of those magazines went, well, I never heard of you, no thanks, and put the phone down. But I had to keep going. So the first thing is you must do what you don't want to do. You must do what you hate. I was recently speaking at an event, and the guy that went on before me said, hey, I'm so glad Marisa is coming on next, because I've been writing a book. And I kept hearing her voice saying, if you don't want to do it, you must do it. Do what you don't want to do. I finished that book. I got a book deal because I kept saying, I don't want to do it, and I'm doing it now. Do what you don't want to do. The second thing is you must do what you do not want to do first. I got to make a very difficult call. I'm doing it first. I hate going to the gym, but I'm going first. You know, if you wait till later, think, oh, I was too late now. It's 9 o'clock. I've eaten, I can't go to the gym. And you feel bad all day. When you do what you don't want to do first, you feel like a winner all the time. I had a client who was massively overweight. And I said to him, you got to work out. He said, I can't. I'm too big to work out. I said, okay, you just walk around Beverly Hills. He said, but I'm too famous. I said, well, walk around Beverly Hills in the middle of the night in the dark. He went, okay. And at 4 a.m., he'd get on his running shoes and he'd walk. And he never went, oh, I love this. This is great. So I want to lose half my body weight. I'm going to do what I hate first. He lost 200 pounds, half his body weight, by doing what he didn't want first. The second thing you must do is take action every single day in the direction of your goals. On your way to success, you must do something every day. That doesn't mean work 7 days a week, not at all. But on your day off or your weekend off, watch one YouTube tutorial. Make a couple of phone calls. Spend 10 minutes on your website. If you do something every day in the direction of your goals, you will feel like a winner. One of my clients said, you know, I read somewhere that Michael Jordan trained on Christmas Day. And I train twice on Christmas Day now because I want to be like him. And I find with going to the gym, if I have a week off and a month off, it takes me so long to get back. But if I never have a day off, but I say, well, I'm not going to go today, but I'll do 5 minutes of sit-ups. I'll do 5 minutes of the plank. I'll just do a couple of minutes of stretching. That's how you take action every day. You don't take a day off. You do 5 minutes on your off day because it makes you feel like a winner every day. So we've covered the first 3. What's the fourth thing that very successful people do? Well, I call it the bounce back factor. They bounce back from rejection. They get rejected, doors get shut, never think people are successful, don't hear no, no thanks, never, not you. They hear it all the time, but they come back. Someone said to Naomi Campbell, Naomi, being on the cover of Vogue, that door is shut to black girls. She said, I'll kick it open. And I love that in her. The ability to say, no, you will not shut that door to me. So it's the ability to understand that a delay is not a denial, it's a delay. A rejection is not a no, it's just a delay. One Direction did not win X Factor, but they became the most successful boy band in monetary terms ever because they came back. Robbie Williams got fired from Take That. He didn't run away and go, well, I'm fired from a boy band. He came back as a solo artist better than ever. All successful people hear the word no. They get rejected. I love the story of Meryl Streep auditioning for King Kong. And the guy auditioning said, Meryl, you're not classically beautiful. You're not going to make it in this town. And she said, that's one opinion in a sea of opinions. I think I'll go off and find a better opinion. And she did. Kevin Hart didn't say, I'm not tall enough to be a comedian. Maradona never said, I'm not tall enough to be one of the best footballers in the world. So your ability to bounce back from rejection, to not do no, to hear no and to ignore it, to hear no, never, and to keep going will make you massively successful. Number 5 is so easy and so important. You must grow your own praise muscle. From our parents, they went to work, someone patted them on the back and, hey, good job, you did a great job today, well done. You're the employee of the week, employee of the month, employee of the year, and they got little bonuses, and they depended on someone else to go, hey, you did a great job, well done you, I saw what you did, it was good. If you have your own startup, your own business, if you're a coach, if you're a therapist like me, you may never have someone to go, hey, what you did today was great. In fact, my clients do say, gosh, what you did was amazing. But even if they didn't, think about the words you most want to hear. Now you have to say them. Today I did a great job. Today I was amazing. Today I was awesome. Phenomenal. The way I handled that client, the way I came back, the stuff I got through, the list I completed. Praise makes us grow. Praise will build your self-esteem like nothing else on the planet. And if you haven't got a boss or a supervisor or colleagues to go, you did a great job. If you're a photographer, if you're a coach, if you're working for yourself, if you're working alone, then you've got to do it. And I can't tell you enough how much it will benefit you to say every day, what did I do today that was great? It doesn't matter what it was, but you must praise yourself every day. Look in the mirror, you did a great job, you were awesome today, you were amazing today. Think of the best boss in the whole world. What might they say to you? Whatever you might want them to say, whatever you might need to hear, say it yourself. When I was writing my first book, which is a very solitary thing to do, I'd sit at home and write, and I didn't have anyone going, oh, this is good. Oh, I love this chapter. Wow. I like that paragraph. I like that heading. I was a single parent. I wrote, my daughter was in bed. I had no husband, no friend, no roomie to go, this is great. So I did it. I'd tell them, this is amazing, this is great, this book is fantastic, wow, you're doing a great job. When it was published, I looked and thought, ooh, it's not quite as good as I thought it was. I could really see in the first 3 chapters that I had never written before, and I could see how I picked up my confidence and it got better and better. And it did become a bestseller, and that wasn't arrogance. I had a choice. Oh my God, this is no good, I've never written before, this is amazing. Build your praise muscle. The next thing is read more. Successful people watch television less and they read more. Every hour you spend in front of the television, you need to spend another hour reading a book. Have some evenings when you do not watch television. Imagine I'm going to say you can join the club of the most successful people in the whole world. And these are the Jews. Read more, watch TV less, grow your praise muscle, have the bounce back factor, do what you hate, do it first, take action every day in the direction of your goals. If you do that, you can join the Success Club. Most of you go, I'll do it. Well, do it, because there is a Success Club and you can become a member. And the seventh thing, and it's very important, maybe I saved the best to last, when you have an accountability buddy, when you have someone that makes you accountable, your chance of succeeding goes up by a massive, whopping 95%. Isn't that amazing? So I want you to go into the comments below now, and I want you to say, I would like to be someone's accountability buddy. Here I am. And I want you to also ask, and I would like to find an accountability buddy. And we can speak online, we can speak on FaceTime. You're going to hold me to account, and I'm going to hold you to account. Many years ago, I couldn't get a book deal for my book that I was writing, and I decided I'm going to put on a talk, and then I'm going to get an agent that way. And I kept saying I'd do it, and I had a peer group, which is kind of cool because my name's Marisa Peer. And I had to tell them, you know what, in between now and my next meeting, we met every 6 weeks, I will have put on that event, and I would have cancelled it. But I had accounted, I had to go and go, I've done it, it's all done, I've booked the room, I've got the flyers. In fact, by the time I went back, I'd actually had the event. 7 publishing houses turned up. One of them offered me even more than I was asking for if I would sign with them the next day and not go and see any of the people who also wanted to bid for my book. And none of that would have happened if I hadn't had an accountability group. Now, you may have heard many times about the marshmallow test. And the marshmallow test is an interesting test where they took children, they put them in a room with 1 marshmallow. It's also been done with 1 cookie and 1 pretzel. And they said to the children, if you wait, don't eat that marshmallow, then you will have 2. So they were seeing how good these children were at delaying gratification, because if you can delay gratification, you are wired for success. And they found one group, maybe a third of the kids, just shoved that marshmallow in their mouth straight away and said, oh, I couldn't wait, I needed it now. They needed instant gratification. The second group said, no, I'm going to wait. And they sat there knowing that if they waited, they got 2 marshmallows. The third group, well, they were interesting because they really wanted that marshmallow. They were very much a combination group 1 and 2. They wanted it. They also wanted to wait. As they made funny faces, they turned their chair around, they tried not to look at the marshmallow, and they forced themselves to wait. And they also got the second marshmallow. So group 1, instant gratification. Group 2, naturally delayed gratification. Group 3 were kind of programmed to be group 1, but fought with themselves until they became group 2. They resisted their natural instinct to eat the marshmallow. And what they discovered as they followed those children was group 2 and 3, the ones who delayed gratification naturally or completely unnaturally, were way more successful than group 1, that when I need it and I can't wait and I got no self-control, it looks nice, it tastes nice, bam, I've eaten it and now I kind of wish I'd waited. So I'm telling you this because it does not matter if you are not naturally group 2. It only matters that you can train yourself, teach yourself, and help yourself to become group 2. Because here's the thing, when we're kids, we learn naturally to delay gratification. Our parents say, clean your room and then you can have an ice cream. Do your homework and then you can go to the park. Do your chores and then we'll go out and have cookies. We all do that naturally with children. And then we learn to stop. And you see, if you come in from work and you are naturally a gratification delay, you'll go, wow, my favorite program is on tonight and I'm going to have this wonderful dinner, but first I'm going to go through my emails, do the stuff that's important, and then my dinner and movie is my reward. And what happens is you get through the work you don't want to do because you're thinking of the reward. And you go, this is a reward for doing that. Other people come in and go, no, I'm going to watch a movie, I'm going to have a lovely dinner, and later I do my emails. And of course, later never comes because you had your reward first. And it is a classic mistake to take your reward first. Now, when I do things I don't want to do, I start to say, okay, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to make a phone call. I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to have a wonderful coffee. Even having a coffee, a tea, a NutriBullet, I think, oh, I need that. But first I'm going to do something, and then I'm going to reward myself with that. And I've wired my brain now to do work first, take the reward second, and very rarely to have the reward first and then do the work. Because I know it doesn't work. If I take the reward first, I don't do the work. And also, human beings are wired to like a reward. If you talk to any guys, they say that they like women that make them work for their attention. They don't really like women that just give it all away because they need to earn it. They like to earn love, earn respect, earn admiration. We don't really like what we haven't worked for. I work with so many rock stars that just give everything away and take drugs and fall apart because they go, yeah, but I just wrote a song and I never earned that. We are actually wired as humans to like to earn our reward, and we feel so good when we earned it. And we go, I earned that, I deserve that, I was worthy of it. When someone just gives us stuff, it actually has no value. I know when I work with companies sending me lots of clients to stop smoking, and the success rate wasn't high enough because they were just giving it away. When I said, look, you need to make your staff pay and then you reimburse them after a year, then it will work. And when they did that, the success rate changed dramatically because they were getting their stopping smoking fees back from the company, but they had to show some commitment too. So please remember, you are hardwired to earn your reward, to feel really good about enjoying something you have earned. And when you take the reward without earning it, it makes you feel terrible, which is why so many of my clients get into destructive behavior, drugs, drinking, procrastination, self-loathing, because we can't appreciate stuff that we're just given. We like it much more when we earn it. Do I naturally take gratification? Or am I group 2? Do I earn it? I'm group 3. Am I going to learn to earn it? You can learn to delay gratification. Wire yourself to delay gratification because it is another thing that you do that will allow you to join the success club. Delay gratification, you are on your way to success. And guess what? Success is on its way to you because what you are moving towards is simultaneously moving towards you faster when you learn to delay gratification. I used to have an agony column. People would write to me all the time going, I don't know what's wrong with me, and I can't get what I want from life, and I self-sabotage, and I've got all these destructive habits, and I guess I was just born like that. I'd write back and go, you know, that's not true. No baby is born saying, how can I sabotage myself? How can I destroy my confidence? You are born with phenomenal confidence. And many of us don't understand that our subconscious mind is an amazing tool, but it's almost like the instructions are in German and you don't speak German. The instructions are non-existent. You know, I stay in Airbnbs all over the world and often happen to find that they've got some weird washing machine with no instructions, and I can't use it because I don't know what to do, or I can only do one cycle and never get the best of it. And our mind is pretty much the same. We come onto the planet with an amazing, phenomenal, incredible, impressive mind. And your mind has a job. And it's a great job. Your mind's job is to do what you tell it to do. And you have a job. And your job is to tell your mind exactly what you want using specific detailed language. Let me say that again because it is so important. And by the way, please share this, please like this, please subscribe, because most of your friends have this same issue. They don't understand the power of their mind and they have no idea how to use it. Your mind's job is to do what it thinks you want it to do, based very much on what you tell it, based on the language you use. And your job, and it is such an important job, is to tell your mind exactly what you want using relevant, up-to-date, powerful, incredible, exciting, descriptive words. And I'm going to tell you why. First of all, the mind can only work in the present tense. Many people go, next year, I'm going to have a bikini body. Next year, I'm going to be so wealthy. Next year, I'm going to have love. Next year, I'm going to be happy. And you see, the mind doesn't know what next year is. In the same way that when you say to a child, we go doing that tomorrow, they go, is it tomorrow today? Is it yesterday today? Because they can't future pace. The mind actually isn't great at future pacing. You have to say now. I am becoming super successful now. I'm joyously happy now. I'm attracting the most amazing, wonderful, lasting love now, right now. And if you add the words now and right now to the things that you want, your mind understands, oh, you want this? I better action this. Whereas next year, 5 years from now, I'm going to be happy. Your mind doesn't really know what that means. The mind works in the present tense only. It's why people who are depressed can't imagine getting better. It's why when you're in pain, it's very hard to imagine no pain, because the mind works in the present tense. Secondly, the mind only responds to words that make pictures, and the more clear and vivid and detailed, the better. If you say, well, I'm never going to eat cake again. I'm just not ever going to eat cake. I'm not interested in cake. Cake doesn't thrill me. What you're saying is, I am interested in cake, and cake thrills me, and I need to eat cake again, because the words no, not, don't work. Saying to your kid, don't touch that vase, they hear touch the vase. You go, I got such a weird kid. Every time I say don't touch that, they touch it. That's because the mind doesn't hear the words don't, doesn't understand the words don't, and does not act on the words don't. Have you done a New Year's Eve resolution? Never eat chocolate again. How long did that last? Probably days. Often not long at all. So you cannot prefix with don't, not, never, because it doesn't work. And thirdly, the word you use must be exciting, dramatic, powerful, and super descriptive. Here is a rule of the mind. The way you feel about anything at any time is down to two things: the pictures you make in your head and the words you say to yourself. We all make pictures and words. Successful people make powerful pictures and exciting words, and people who are not successful make negative pictures and negative words. I'm going to get sick now because winter's come, it's flu season. I'm going to get sick because I ate that food and I don't think the waiter's hands are very clean. I'm going to get tired because I've been up all night, the neighbor's dog was barking. People who succeed say, I've got a fantastic rock-hard constitution. I can sleep through anything. So the situation doesn't change. They both sleep with a barking dog. They both eat in the same restaurant. One has a belief, this is great, and the other has a belief, this will make me sick. So you have to use very, very exciting words. People say to me, you know, I'm meditating, and I say things like every day in every way. Life is getting better and better. That is a completely useless waste of your time. Try to picture that every day, in every way, my life is getting better and better. Is that vivid? Is that descriptive? Is that exciting? Is that detailed? Does that set your mind on fire with passion and direction? No, of course it doesn't. Now say something else. I have a skill and a passion and drive and determination. I am going towards my dream career like a magnet, like a laser. I'm skilled, I'm gifted, or I'm a lovable person. I'm lovable and warm and amazing, and I'm finding who I want and they are finding me. That makes a picture, whereas I'm looking for love. That doesn't really make a picture. So the wording is so important. You must use dynamic words, descriptive words, and even the words you put in front of words. So saying, I am motivated and passionate and driven, is an amazing word. Saying my body is a wellness producing machine, or saying my body is a freaking awesome wellness producing machine, makes a very different picture to I'm trying not to get ill. I'm hoping not to get depressed. I'm trying not to get fat. No, you say I have a phenomenal, extraordinary, super efficient, fantastic metabolic rate. My body burns off whatever I eat. I eat good stuff, healthy stuff, and if I eat occasionally not so good, doesn't matter. My brilliant body, my phenomenal metabolic rate, use everything I eat to build a perfect body for me, and I have a phenomenal, incredible metabolism. Here's another one that will help. I have an extraordinary, foolproof, dependable memory. Your mind goes, I know what that means. Extraordinary, foolproof, dependable. Those words make such a clear image of what you want. And even better, you say to your mind, you know what, mind, what I want, what I insist on, what I require of myself every day is a foolproof, incredible, awesome, phenomenal, dependable memory. Now try doing this. I don't want to forget things anymore. I mustn't forget. I must remember. I mustn't forget. I must remember. You can see that that doesn't work. Turn your mind on. Set your mind on fire with words. Reprogram your subconscious mind for success. Remember, it has a job, and its job is to do what you tell it. Your job is to tell it exciting things, understanding the prerequisite. I must speak in the present tense only. I must add in the words now, right now. I must use really exciting words as a descriptive and make a clear picture so my mind knows. And even the words I put in front of words, they work. Absolutely, they work. Do this for yourself. Do this for your friends. Especially do this with your children. Not, oh, well, you can't read. You are a phenomenal reader. Your brilliant brain understands the words. It understands the sentences. You know, many years ago, I was driving my girls to school and she said, Mummy, you know, this teacher's given me a book and I'm 5 and this book says 7 and I can't read it. I said, you know what, darling? Your teacher must see in you that you are so clever and so advanced. That's why she gave me that book. And she went, and I can read it. In a second, she went from I can't read it because it says 7 to, oh, my teacher thinks I got the brain of a 7-year-old. And she immediately read that book. Just because she told her mind something different, it's too advanced. Hey, I'm advanced. I can do anything. I'm unstoppable, unshakable. And they're great words to use. One of those habits is being a perfectionist, believing that it'll be perfect. You know, we train people in RTT, my own version of Rapid Transformational Therapy. And I noticed that I'd look in the class and say to my sister, gosh, you know, that person, they're going to be an amazing therapist. Look at this one. They're so good. And then to our horror, they don't seem to pick it up. What happened? They go, I'm just waiting to be even better. I just thought I'd do another course and read another book and study a bit more. I'm like, no. You won't meet a waitress who says, I'm waiting to be perfect at waiting tables to begin. A plumber who says, I'm waiting to really be perfect at plumbing to begin. But when you often have your own job, your own business, your own dream, your own goal, you get sucked into waiting to be perfect. You know what makes you perfect? Doing it. You learn by every mistake you make. So a number one habit to stop you being successful is waiting for perfection. Waiting to be perfect. There is no perfect. The best people in the world are not perfect. Begin it now. Don't hesitate. It says in the Bible, he who hesitates is lost. Take action. That's one of the habits of success, taking action every day in the direction of your goals, not waiting to be perfect to take those actions. Another habit that stops success is doubting yourself. What if, what if, what if? You know, when I was asked to write a book, I met a publisher and they went, oh, you know, we want you to write this book and we love what you've done so far. And can you do this? When they asked me, I really thought, you know, I don't actually know if I can do what they're requesting. They're asking me to come up with all this information. And I said, yes, I can do it. I had no idea if I could or would, but I wasn't going to go, no, I can't. I said yes, not even knowing how I would pull it off. And yet,
as it happened, it all came to me. So the self-doubt, what if I get it wrong? What if I can't do it? My belief is say yes to everything. If it doesn't work out, you can extract yourself. If you say no, just in case, it's like saying, what if I'm not a great parent? What if I don't love my baby? What if? Well, there's a chance that will happen, but usually you learn as you go along. So self-doubt, trying to be perfect. And here's another habit, sabotaging yourself. Procrastination, why do you do that? Well, let's take a look at this success killer habit. Two actually. I procrastinate and I self-sabotage. The reason you do this is because you have a belief, I'm not really good enough. I've always had this dream of bringing this idea to market, starting my own business, but what if I start it and it all goes horribly wrong? Then I've ruined my dream. But if I just sabotage myself and never go, I can say, well, you know, I coulda, shoulda, woulda. But while I was getting it together, someone else came up with the same idea. Or I just was destructive, I ruined it. I worked with someone who got offered a part on Broadway. That's a huge thing. That was her dream. When she got the part, she got fatter and fatter and fatter until they said, look, you know, we gave you this part. You had a perfect dancer's body. What have you done? She said, I don't know. But I knew. She was so scared that when the play opened, the musical opened, they go, oh no, she was terrible, that she decided it was more comfortable to say, well, you know, I got so fat I couldn't even be in that part. And I had to tell her the truth. Look, they wouldn't give you the part if they didn't see something in you. If your boss says you can do this, if your employer says you can do it, they're seeing something in you. And you have to see in you what they see in you. And even if you don't, remember when your mind expands something new, it doesn't go back. So give yourself a leap of faith. Believe in yourself. Say, I can do it. Remember that expression, if you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're right. To say, I can do it. I can do it. I can really, really do it. I used to sing that song from Cinderella. You can do it, you can do it, you can really, really do it. And whenever I had a thing, I was asked to produce an audio, give a talk, and I think, oh, what do I know? Who am I to turn up and lecture doctors? I'd sing that little ditty. And it sent a message to my mind. And you see, your mind can't hold conflicting beliefs. When you're going, I can do it, it can't go, no, you can't. When you're saying, I'm doing it, this is great, don't stop me now, I'm having a good time, I'm having the time of my life, your mind can't come back with, no, you're not. So the mind is a single track mind. If you keep it on what you want, you can't keep it on what you don't want. If you keep it on what you don't want, you can't keep it on what you want. And we have a product called I'm Enough, and it's all about how to develop the habits of success, how to join the percentage of people who have it all. Because you know what? You can have it all and all at the same time. If you have good habits, if you install good habits and disinstall negative habits. We'll say, well, some people are just lucky they're born like that. Sure they are, but it doesn't matter. You can adopt good habits, acquire good habits, wire in good habits, and after a while, it feels like you've always had them. If you acquire the habit of running, you don't go, well, I've been running for 4 years, but it never felt natural. Just do it, then it becomes natural. And while you're installing the good habits, you are uninstalling forever the negative habits. Let me tell you about a few more. So here's another very bad habit, comparing yourself to other people. You know, we all learn in a unique way. Some people learn fast, some people learn slow. I failed my driving test 3 times, could have been 4 actually, but now I never go on the road and think, you know, I'm not equal to these other drivers because they probably passed their driving test the first time. It's a bit like that expression, it doesn't matter how many times it takes to get up a mountain. When you get to the top, you have the same view as everybody else. So don't compare, oh, that person is lucky, that person is better than me. You have a unique skill set. You can't compare yourself to other people. When I started to work in personal development amongst doctors and eminent physicians, it was very easy to go, well, they're a physician. Who am I to have an opinion? But now those same physicians come to me and ask me for my opinion because I've earned my place. I didn't start off equal to them, far from it. I was this crazy girl with these woo-woo ideas, but I earned my place over time and I don't compare myself. Someone said to me once, have you got a medical degree? I went, no. But you know what? I have got loads and loads and loads of happy clients and a very healthy bank balance. And I don't need a medical degree to have what I have. And you can do that too. You're unique. You have a unique skill set. Do not compare yourself. Here's another very negative habit to give up. Overwhelming yourself with too many tasks, waking up with this huge list of what to do, and at the end of the day you've only done a third of it, now you feel like a failure. Don't do that, and don't be jack of all trades and a master of none. If you have a gift, you're supposed to work on that gift, not do every other gift too. Be really good at what you do and let other people be good at what they do. And don't feel bad if you're working with people who are more gifted than you in one area, because you have your gift. And that's all you need, your gift. You know, I see this with kids in school who go, well, I'm not good at sport. I'm like, but you're good at computers. Imagine if the whole world was all good at everything. We'd have no restaurants, all be amazing cooks. We wouldn't employ gardeners, we'd all be brilliant. We wouldn't employ IT people to come and fix stuff. We wouldn't employ anyone to fix anything. The world would be very unfair if we were all good at everything. We would go out of business if we could all do everything. You're only supposed to be good at one thing. And people who are really good will say, this is my area of excellence. I'm good at this. That's all they need to be good at. After all, if you went to a hospital and say, hey, I've got one doctor, he does everything. He's a heart surgeon, an orthopedic surgeon, a cancer surgeon. He works with children, he delivers babies, he works with skin. No, you have a specialist in every area. Go to an amazing restaurant. They don't have one chef, they have a pastry chef, a meat chef, a dessert chef. Go to a school. I'm the history teacher, I'm the English teacher, I'm the science teacher. They are each an expert in their own field. They don't go, but I'm going to compare myself as the science teacher to the drama teacher. Remember that. Here's another bad habit you don't have to have: making rash decisions. Successful people tend to, on the whole, make their mind up quite slowly and very rarely change. Other people make their mind up so fast and change it and change it and change it. Take your time. Don't make rash decisions. Don't rush. Don't operate out of fear. And oh my God, I've got to make a decision now. You can sleep on it. You can say, I need time to think about this. You know, one of my friends who was in television, I got a job on TV and I really wanted it. And I said, you know, what shall I do? And they asked me how much money I want, because I feel scared of asking for too much in case they don't give it. She said, look, here's the truth. If you ask for too much and they want you, they won't go, are you kidding? They'll negotiate you down. If you don't ask for enough, they will never negotiate you up. And when they give you the contract, say, I need some time to think about this. If they want you, they'll wait for you. And I learned, because she was so smart, not to make rash decisions. And here's the last habit, and it's so important. I'm saving the easiest and the very best to last. Praise yourself a lot. Take a minute right now with me and think of what you would like to hear to make you know you're a success. Would you like someone to say, oh my God, you know, you're brilliant at what you do. You're gifted, you're talented, you're innovative. I love your product. I love what you've invented, written, created. Would you like that? Well, why don't you take a minute and say that yourself? I am creative. I've created something amazing. When I wrote my first book, every day I'd just go, wow, this book is amazing. This book is sensational. When it got published, I thought, actually, it's not quite as good as I said it was. I could really see in the first 3 chapters that I'd never written before. Then it got better. But imagine if I wrote it going, well, it's not very good. It's really amateur. I can see what I'm doing wrong. I wouldn't have had the courage. I had to say it's great, it's amazing, it's a bestseller, in order to have the courage to go out there. And you have to tell yourself what you need to hear. You have to praise yourself. If you work for yourself, if you're a startup, if you're looking for investment, no one's going to come along and go, yay, amazing you. You have to do it, and it will make you grow in confidence, grow in self-esteem. Before you go to meet investors, customers, clients, stop and say, this product is amazing, I'm amazing. You know why we buy stuff? Whatever we buy, it's because of how it makes us feel. We spend so much money on an Apple phone. We could buy a cheaper one, but that little Apple thing makes us feel good. We buy expensive shampoos. They make us feel good. If you can find anything that makes people feel good, they will buy it. So instead of doubting yourself, think about what could you bring to the market? What could you work on already? What could you do to make your customers, your buyers, your listeners, your readers, your audience feel good? If you can find that, you'll be amazing. And while you're doing it, praise yourself. Be the boss you've always wanted. The customer who gives you the best feedback, give it to yourself. Wire in that habit of extraordinary success along with all the others, and you will move to success, and success will move to you, and failure, holding back, putting yourself down, criticizing yourself, being rash, making mistakes, procrastinating, they will all disappear. There'll be something you used to do that cannot, will not, do not affect you or influence you or impact you ever again. If you enjoyed that video, check out the next one right here. You can also click the link below right here for your free gift. When you focus on where you want to go, you actually go towards it. The more you focus on where you want to be, the more your mind, like a heat-seeking missile,